to Bing Bang Burger. What can I bop you with today?
I'm not ashamed to say up front, I don't necessarily know where this series is going, but I'm along for the ride. I'll say that up front. I'm going to do my usual review of kind of telling you uh, the characters, the story, some of the main concepts in this, but for all intents and purposes, this concept is a spectacle, and I gotta see it through to the end of just like what they plan on going with this one. Just going actually putting that out there for truism. Virgo is a unique concept, especially in today's climate. It's a mix of genres and it makes giving an upfront perspective tricky. A good portion of this is a coming of age story surrounded by a black male in North America, so that's a check for me. Possibility of supernatural bordering on superhero aspects, check. Comedy with various different tropes and types, could be a hit or miss, don't know. Hints at romance, nah, I'm good on that, no thank you. Commentary on socioeconomic, racism, exploitation, and celebrity culture, some checks, some unchecks. A whole bunch of mixed bags going on here, different concepts. Now, I'm going to say that this is so unique, I'm going to have to give both main and casual perspectives. So I'm going to really be on the fence on this one because I have to. So I'm going to give both perspectives. See, I'm always watching the first 2 episodes of new streaming content on streaming platforms to go ahead and actually watch it to see if it's entertaining. That way, you don't have to waste your time. I've already wasted the time. Alright? So if you like that, do me a favor, click like, share, subscribe. And now, let me get into this review. I'm a Virgo premiered on Prime Video in June of 2023. The first season contains 7 episodes, each coming in around 30 minutes. It stars Jahil Jerome as Cootie, Olivia Washington as Flora, and Brett Gray as Felix. So the storyline goes like this. A coming-of-age joyride about Cootie, a 13-foot tall man who escapes to experience the beauty and contradictions of the real world. He forms friendships, finds love, navigates awkward situations, and encounters his idol named the Hero. This movie has the feel of The Wood, Inkwell, kind of meets Gulliver's Travels, and then kind of possibly a Luke Cage or Hancock feel if it turns into what I believe it's going to turn into. So it's just a mix of all kinds of stuff in there, right? Now, what I look for in a film of this type of deal is character development first and foremost. I have to go ahead and actually like the character. The premise is only going to keep you tuned in for so long if you don't care about the characters. From the concept, I need the story to develop ground rules early on. Does this take place in a real world, or is this kind of like a parallel existence where things are different, some different acceptances are made, etc. I need to know those ground rules to really kind of wrap my head around what's believable, what's unbelievable. And for entertainment value, I'm gonna need either some good laughs or action scenes to really stand out in the series to make it memorable and to make me want to continue tuning in. Now, looking at the characters, I think Jahil Jerome does a good job of playing Cootie, the main character. Playing a 13-foot tall man in today's world at the age of 19, where he's been cut off from society. He is socially awkward, as would be expected, but he's also very well read. He watches TV, surfs the internet, and he's pretty smart. He shows awkwardness, timidity, kindness, frustration, and all those types of emotions very well. And when he starts to feel better about his place in the world, you see a bit of confidence peek out every now and again. The supporting characters of Flora, Felix, Jones, and Scat are his love interests and friends. They're all pretty good. They give a good vibe for how they're written. I think there was a lot of heart put into those character developments, so I like those. I also really like Mike Epps as Martese. He's raised Cootie with Francine, the female partner. She's played by Carmen Ejago. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And they've actually tried to prepare him for what seems to be like a cruel world, not being able to accept his giant size or whatever, kind of hidden him away, but also trying to go and actually make him aware of the world and try and give him raise him right to get the right perspective or what have you. There's also a hint though that there's more to it overall with those characters, and if I'm not mistaken, even in the series they admit that he is not their kid per se. He is, I believe that the Francine character says that he is her sister's kid. So effectively, it's his aunt and uncle that are raising him. But I even have doubts about that at the end of the second episode. So whatever. But they're actually trying to raise him right, and they have his best interest in heart. At least that's the way it seems. Overall, I think the acting that goes in this series is pretty decent. Maybe slightly above average. I just like the characters the way they're written. I'm not saying that they're necessarily acted very well, except for the main protagonist, Cootie, played by Jerome. I think he actually does a pretty damn good job of playing his role. Now, the story is where you really have to start evaluating if you can stand this series. Some of the good things about it is like this is a giant black young man in Oakland who's sequestered from the rest of society and has the ability to look at the world through the lens of a naive young man. And Cootie gives us that. You just know that he's looking at it totally different than anybody else would who grew up in that neighborhood and were exposed to everything. His perspective on everything is shaped by Martise and Francine, who are always looking out for him, and it's shaped through their lens, but with his naivety that, yes, they're the ones that are raising him, so he's obeyed them for all his life and all that kind of stuff, but eventually he kind of comes to his own thing that the world is basically good and there are things to experience. His only concept, if things are good or bad, really is based on what he's been told, and he has to get out there and experience stuff. So this has a great possibility to be wondrous. It could be kind of like the Truman Show or even like Encino Man in a more comical way. And one of the things that's in this particular universe is Cootie reads these comics based on a Tony Stark Iron Man-esque enforcer called the Hero, and he really believes that this guy is a hero. And so he comes to admire him and think that, this is a guy that's doing good. But we all kind of see that that might be a facade. So again, there's another concept out there of Cootie's this 13-foot tall guy in there, essentially a giant or whatever. He has a hero that's out there supposed to be a hero. He's a white guy, and you can see that there could be a burgeoning conflict happening there. So again, another good concept that they're introducing. But here's where I kind of start to go and actually doubt everything. Is that the storyboarding of how Cootie grows up in a smallish house for 19 years and no one figures out that there's a giant living there. I mean, we get it when we see like he's brought home as a newborn. He's kind of like the size of like a third or fourth grader. And when he does get discovered, eventually, as he gets older, what have you, and he's out there and he gets discovered by these neighborhood kids who kind of become his friends or what have you, and he's kind of like out there living his best life or whatever. And I'm like, how do we go and actually go? I mean, in this world, we know that there's the internet, we know that there's TV, all this kind of stuff on there, and people are just naturally curious, especially in a town like Oakland where there are several neighborhoods that are downridden a little bit or whatever. So him being there is going to be a news story. It's going to be a story automatically. As soon as people see him, he's never getting rest. Okay, it doesn't kind of happen, at least not in the first 2 episodes. It really just doesn't. And so he's still kind of living in anonymity, but he starts to go ahead and actually evolve from that. And I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll just say that there starts to become like a celebrity aspect of things, exploitation and things of that nature that start to go and actually happen. But I just find it hard that like a government wouldn't go ahead and actually track down where this giant lives, and they start questioning like his birth and about his parents and other things. I think that they want to keep a close eye on him. So there's just some storyboarding things that I think are a little weird, and just it leads me to go and actually believing that there's plot holes and things like that that are not satisfied for me in that as far as storyboarding is. So that the story in and of itself is okay by concept wise. Storyboarding it, I think, could have used some work, and that's probably going to detract from casual viewers. Main people that are kind of like giving it forbearance, that are really vibing with the story, they'll be okay with it. I think there's some good commentary on the awkwardness of growing older and being isolated and things of that nature. So I like that the story is going on there. The exploitation and spectacle and people and things like that, and how they go and actually accept folks that are totally different from them, especially in the black community. That's going to be some good commentary there. And there's likely to be, a good portion about love and friendship. What do they mean? How impactful they are? All that stuff. So all that combined with, I believe there's going to be a burgeoning, superhero-esque type of thing going on here. I'm hoping for all those factors are going to actually play into the series going forward. But all that being said, what's my verdict? If you like coming of age stories, a fish out of water, or stories about exploitation, I think you should watch the first 2 episodes. The concept of itself will keep you watching. The acting is very good, and you will just really kind of have to see if this is going where you want it to go, and if you really want to stay tuned in. And it's only 30 minutes an episode, so that's a small commitment to go ahead and actually check it out. For those that are just like kind of casual viewers, you kind of have like a passing curiosity, I say watch 1 episode. For having a passing curiosity without having a love of like the previous mentioned genres, you're really just going to want to go and actually give it that 1 episode to kind of figure out if this is for you. It's a cool exhibit of watching a modern Gulliver's Travels style of effects, and see if this will be something that you want to keep coming back to. So again, for main target audiences, go and actually watch the first 2 episodes. For casual viewers, watch 1 episode. And that's what I have for I'm a Virgo on Prime Video. Check it out.
Well, I'm a Virgo. And Virgos love adventure.
Thanks.
I appreciate you staying for the entire video. I really do. Do me a favor, click like, share, subscribe if you really like the video. Also, there's other videos here that I go and actually review that maybe you'll go and actually give a like to one of those as well. But until the next time, I'll holler at you. Take care of yourself.